Good evening. So this tutorial is based on love, and the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 13 talks about love. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Lovely words. Of course, the best place to find discussion on love is 1 John chapter 4. So we're just going to look at a few verses from verse 7, and then we're going to look at the commentary here in this Bible. He says here, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born from God and knows God. Whoever therefore does not know God because God is love." He is love. We love because God first loved us. If anyone says, "I love God," yet hates his brother, he's a liar. For anyone who does not love his brother, whom he has seen, cannot love God, whom he has not seen. And he has given us this commandment: whoever loves God must also love his brother. Now the commentary. First, chapter 4, verse 7, it says, "Everyone believes that love is important, but love is usually thought of as a feeling. In reality, love is a choice and not an action. As it says in 1 Corinthians, God is the source of our love. He loved us enough to sacrifice his son for us." 4 verse 8, it says, John says God is love, not love is God. Our world, with its shallow and selfish view of love, has turned these words around and contaminated our understanding of love. The world thinks that love makes a person feel good. 4 verse 9 and 10. Love is explained why God creates, because he loves us. He cares because he loves sinful people. He gives us freedom of choice because he wants a response from us. And of course, Christ died for us, giving us a solution to our problem of sin. Then in chapter 4, verse 20 and 21, it says here, he says, "The real test of our love of God is how we treat people right in front of us, family members and fellow believers. We cannot truly love God while neglecting to love those who are created in his image." And then it finally mentions a comment from chapter 5, verse 1 and 2. It says, "When we become Christians, we become part of God's family, with fellow believers as our brothers and sisters. If it is God who determines who our family members are and not us." It says, "How well do you treat your fellow members?" And by extension, of course, that could be all the human race, really, because all are made in his image. Now, it mentions also about Jesus here. It just mentions this in 4:9. It says, "Jesus is God's only son. While all believers are sons and daughters of God, only Jesus lives in this special, unique relationship." See John chapter 1, verse 18. What kind of relationship does Jesus have with his Father? Well, this is the Wycliffe commentary, and it's a commentary based on the King James Bible. So here we go, verse 18. "No man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him." The commentary is very interesting, though. It says, God is invisible, being a spirit, is revealed only by his Son, who sits in the bosom position of the Father. The Son's mission is to declare the Father. Christ interpreted God to man. Nothing is lost. So that's interesting, isn't it? So nothing is lost. So the Creator is the source of all life, all matter, and all love. He is the source. Jesus is known as the truth. He's told us the truth, explained and expressed and demonstrated the truth about his Father. Why was he necessary? Well, because he's the one who's revealed his Father to the human race. His Father is not reachable. physically. Moses tried to see God's back, and he was shown a vision, and he came down the mountain of Sinai glowing red. It's not possible because Almighty God is the creator of the cosmos, the universe. He's the source of all this power. Billions of suns are his power source. But his son is ideally placed to volunteer to save the human race and declare his father, so that we can make a relationship with him. We can feel his love. And because when we feel his love, and even people are not sure, they see his love in nature, don't they? And that helps them realise that there is love within his creative works. And people are drawn to him. And if we're drawn to God's love, then we can love back. And that's what he wants from us. So this is the paperwork. If you want to pause the video, and then you can have a look at that in more detail. And I just want to thank you. And so the next one is about God's kingdom.